Welcome to Conversations with Character. I am here with Marvin Ariza. He's an independent artist. Can't wait to hear his story. Let's get into it, bro. How old are you? Where are you from?
I'm 24 and I'm from Lansing, Michigan.
Okay. All right. So tell me about growing up in Michigan.
I came here when I was 14. I was actually born in Farmington Hills, and from when I was 6 months old, we then moved to Conway, South Carolina. Kind of did most of my schooling through there, but more of my formative years were in Lansing, Michigan, and then just finished some school at Holt High School.
What made you guys go back and forth?
What was it? My parents are both from Detroit, and my dad was kind of caught up in some street stuff. And so to kind of get away from that, they chose to go down to South Carolina. But, when they separated, my mom saw no reason to really stay there. And all our family was in Detroit. So she thought Lansing was an option.
Hell yeah. And were you glad to go back to Michigan?
I kind of had an outsider view of it, just because I would only see family through visits or parts of Michigan through visits. So it was only in short spans of time that I would get an understanding of it, but it seemed exciting when it happened.
It was a lot warmer down there in South Carolina.
Yeah. I used to be a bit darker, so.
Hell yeah. So what'd you do after high school?
I did a couple of years at Lansing Community College, but started rapping when I was 19, and it just seemed like nothing else made as much sense as doing that.
Hell yeah. When did you start rapping?
Music's always kind of been a part of my life. It was always that kind of escape from whatever was going on outside. I played saxophone since 6th grade, and always loved rap music, R&B music, and rap music just made the most sense because I wasn't the greatest singer, so I was just seeing what was up with it. And then my homie had a recording set up in his basement, so I was like, let's get it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So that's been about 5 years you've been rapping.
Type shit.
Tell me about the journey, man. You started in your buddy's basement. Are you recording yourself now? Are you still going to his place? What's the journey been like?
Recording in the basement, that was with a coworker from Lansing Community College, actually, and he was just telling me about it because he was trying to pursue rap at the time as well, and just get it in a couple times. But from that point, me and another friend of mine just started rapping a lot. He was rapping before me, but we wanted to find an actual studio to go to. And, being college kids, we had little jobs. We didn't have all the money in the world.
Right.
So we were just trying to figure some shit out. And we found a spot that was only charging $25 an hour. And we said, hell yeah, let's go. Let's see what we can do.
That's $12.50 a piece, bro. Let's go.
We in that bitch. And we just ran it up literally for I think damn near a year, 2 years straight, and just kind of perfecting the craft, because we saw that other people, around us were making music, but we were consistently holding ourselves to a higher standard. Just wanting it to be as good as possible, or as true to ourselves as possible. From that point, he moved down to Atlanta, and I was still pursuing music, so still just honing my skills, sharpening the sword, seeing what was up. And then he came back, and then we decided to go out trying to do shows and stuff. And so that was the goal for most of last year, and we succeeded with that with a few performances. And now we're at the point where, okay, we see now that audiences have a liking to our stuff. So now we're just seeing how far we can take it.
When you start making music, man, I feel like your perspective on everything changes.
Yeah.
Especially listening to music. Would you say that when you started making music, the music you were currently a fan of, it kind of changed to you?
For sure, because it was mostly rap, and now that I do it, more than anything else, I'm now looking just for like sounds that like feel good to me. And rap's not always the thing anymore. I like a lot of like soft shit now. I like a lot of like smooth R&B, jazz, you know, just kind of like transformative feelings of sound that like, you know, make me feel away physically, rather than just like, all right, let me get hyped for this thing, you know. And it's because I'm a little older too. When I was like 19, 20, 21, it was always, all right, let's get hyped to do this, or like, let's get hyped to go here type shit. It was more like a tool of transition between events.
That's a good way to put it. You're feeling them frequencies now.
Man, that's the whole thing now. That's the only thing I'm looking for.
Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. Have you figured out singing at all? Or are you just sticking with rapping?
Plugins.
Auto-tune.
Plugins, tasteful auto-tune, and good takes. Because I've always like you know, enjoyed, you know, doing a little bit of sing-songing, but I always wanted to keep in mind making it palatable. You know, not just singing to sing. You know, having something to say when you do it as well, and having it feel good, just like in what I'm listening to when I'm not recording. You know, so doing that, and then taking my time and figuring out, okay, these are the presets that work for me. This is like kind of the range that I can work within. It's not the biggest, but we can see about expanding it.
That's your pocket, bro. It's all about finding your pocket. Mm-hmm. So y'all started performing last year.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Like, tell me how you actually got the first shows booked, how the first ones went, how they progressed.
Facebook, bro. Because I had befriended a couple of local artists, and, you know, add them on Facebook and see what they were doing. And they were all just like in contact with like a couple DJs that were like in the Lansing, Jackson, Grand Rapids area. See if we can friend request them, see if we can talk to them. What are your availabilities for shows? What are your requirements? Is it the thing where we, you know, sell tickets up front, or do we got to do this to figure out how we just get on the stage? You know what I'm saying? I think one of my biggest thing is just getting in contact with people, because I feel like once we start having the conversation, they see that I'm not bullshitting, and like, this is what I actually want to do. I'm not hitting you up just because I want to talk. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I'm trying to work
the whole time, and I wouldn't be calling you or like texting you or, you know, getting in contact with you for really, you know, nothing else, because I know people got their lives, man.
Right. I mean, looking for friends out here.
We can do that later when we win.
There it is. Hell yeah, bro. How did the first show go?
It was cool, honestly. I think my most memorable one, because I think it was at like Max Bar, maybe like 5 or 10 people, because it was just like other artists, and then maybe like they brought their girlfriend, you know. So
that's how it be, bro.
That instantly like multiplies it. And, you know, when I was up there, it's always the same. Like, I hear my name get called maybe 5 to 10 minutes before. I'm nervous and I'm feeling away, but I have to, you know, talk to myself and, you know, say like, okay, in no other realm are you this nervous. That's what makes this mean something to you. You know, that's the signal that this matters. You know, so now that you know that it actually means something to you and that it's like of value to you, now you go out and make it mean something to these other people that are watching you.
That was a great answer. I kind of got goosebumps a little bit when you said that.
That's the only way it makes sense for me. And so that's what always will give me the confidence to go out there and like show my ass if I feel like, you know, and then come in off the stage, you know, you get a couple of people to say like, oh dude, that shit was cool, man, or like, and then that's when like, you know, the social media link ups will happen. They're like, oh, let me get your Instagram. Oh, we switched this. You get like 5 or 10 followers out of a show.
That's the way to do it, man. That's the way. And performing is important. Like, I interviewed one guy and he said that if you're not performing locally, you're not a local musician.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's I I see like other artists and other bands in Lansing doing their thing, and I always like have like a tinge of like envy just because I want to, one, be out there to support, and two, damn, can I go up next? You just rip that shit, man. Let's go. I feel like we can keep it running.
Hell yeah.
You know.
What do you consider your biggest accomplishments?
Formulating my own sound. Honestly, I think the whole thing that's been like a point of contention for me is not like dropping consistently, or, you know, not putting out as much music as I'm making, but it's just because I don't want it to be forgettable. You know, I don't want to just make 50 songs that anybody else can make. I'd rather do that in order to get close to the one song that I know not many people can duplicate. You know, and now that I have that, or at least a framework of that, it makes me feel more at peace coming out, putting money into the things that I'm doing now. You know, I'll shell out for a music video, or I'll invest in, you know, just getting my name out there. Yeah. You know, just because I know I have that, you know, built up experience and time like backing me.
Absolutely, man. And also, you know, it's funny because like you don't have a lot of Instagram followers, but I think that your content is more on point than most artists I know with 50,000 followers. It's unique, and you know, you always have these like little intros in your videos before it breaks into the song, and it kind of grabs the audience attention, and it shows you a little bit of like who you are yourself. Like, how did you come up with those ideas on how to make this content like that?
I'm a fan of like the YouTube commentary genre, you know, and so it's like it's always videos like that where they'll make like a couple of jokes in the beginning and then like do like a little intro or whatever, or like have like the title of whatever kind of video their commentary channel is for, and then they go into like reacting to a video and like saying their jokes and stuff. I just did it for, you know, explaining myself as an artist. And
it works, bro. Like, I love your reels. They're great. They're fantastic.
I appreciate that.
What have been the biggest obstacles that you've had to overcome?
Being broke. Fuck.
Hey, bro, felt, man.
Fuck it. It's still an obstacle, man. It's honestly, if I could, it's one of those things that every artist always says, if I could just make music all day, I would. You know what I'm saying? But then here comes real life. You know, it's always that kind of feeling like I know that I have to go out and do these things and do actual work to support the passion, you know? And it's just, you know, making that make sense in my head. Yeah. So that I can keep doing what I love.
Nah, absolutely, man. Are you still going to that studio?
No, I record everything at the crib right now.
Hell yeah. How long have you been recording yourself?
It's going on more than a year now. I just picked up making my own beats about a year ago. And so, yeah, I think like the more self-sufficient I became, the better of an artist I became.
Hell yeah. No, absolutely. And I've spoken to a lot of people like that just got tired of, you know, looking for beats on YouTube and things like that. And you got to learn to do it all yourself. You got to learn to produce. You got to learn to mix. You got to learn to do it all. How did you improve your mixing skills?
I did a small internship at a local music studio here in Lansing called Platinum Keys. That was the $25 an hour joint I was talking about. Okay. You know, and of course they've come like leaps and bounds from that. It's like $75 an hour now. But nah, like throughout my 5 years of just like rapping and going there constantly, I got, you know, close with the dude that runs the place. And so at some point between, you know, the buildings he was moving between, I was like moving mixers and shit like that. So like he would trust me and like, you know, show me how to do certain things, or like the basics of like volume gauging. If you're gonna add an effect to your thing, you need to make space from something else. You know, you need to carve out lanes to invite vocals and things of that nature. You got to watch where your low and high end are, you know, seeing if everything's balanced out. Take it from the headphones to your car, you know, pop your shit into a speaker and see how it sounds. Make sure your music travels across, you know, popular listening mediums, and at least you can find a happy middle ground if it's not all the way perfect, you know.
Facts, bro. What's the dream?
The dream, bro? The dream is called the Nomad Project. I kind of want to be like the Anthony Bourdain of this shit, bro. I want to, swear to God, I want to go around the world into different parts. I want to do like how I'm doing right now, where I'll like work a regular job and then like go and do music. I want to go and do that around the world. I want to clock in for like 8 hours somewhere in like fucking London and work my ass off, and then like spend another 8 hours in a studio. Like I don't want to just, you know, be disconnected from reality or like, you know, a working class, because that's been my whole life. And I think that's one of the only things that's like kept me sane, kind of.
That would be dope, man. Like Anthony Bourdain going eating all those foods. Like you go and to each country and get a feature artist from each country, and dude, that would be really cool.
And I've you know, did things to make myself effective enough to do that. Like my bro put me onto it, but like doing writing exercises, like going and setting a timer with a beat for like 30 minutes and see if you can write a 16, you know, only giving yourself a certain amount of time to get things done, because that's even how it is in studio sessions when people pay for the hour. You know, I've, you know, been in sessions, I've ran sessions where dude's like, all right, load up this beat from YouTube, and then he sits there and tries to start writing. I'm like, what do you didn't have this done before you
by the hour, right?
Like, bro. And I wanted to be the exact opposite. I wanted to be almost everything anybody needed whenever I showed up. I never wanted to be the one behind in any studio session.
Hell yeah, bro. Man, you're serious about what you're doing, bro. Like I believe in what you're doing, for real.
Thank you.
What do you got coming up this year?
I got a project that I made over a weekend out in Ann Arbor called Ariza Over Clouds. That's with the homie Ali P and my producer homie Nimbus. And then I got Junebug Volume 1 and 2 coming out soon.
That's one thing I wanted to ask you about. The Marvin Ariza name, is that your real name?
Nah. It comes from like two things that are still like as a reminder to me. The first part is Marvin. I think when I had my first job at like fucking McDonald's, my check was like for like $200 something, and I spent the whole bitch on some Jordans. It was some Marvin the Martian 7 Jordans, bro. I fucking cashed out. And I think, yeah, within like a couple months, I had trashed them bitches.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? And like that, along with other things that have happened in my life, just goes to show me like money ain't the thing, bro. Or like these material things, that's not what's gonna, you know, keep me going. That's not what's gonna, you know, fuel me.
That's dope. So Marvin kind of reminds you to stay focused on what's important.
And then the second half, Ariza, is because I used to play a lot of pickup ball with my homies from high school, and niggas say I hoop like Trevor Ariza from the Rockets, who was like some kind of like super regular role player. You know, this nigga, he'll like average some points, he'll do something, you know, he'll get something done, but he's not the star player. He's not the man's. And that's another thing to remind myself of, like, bro, no matter how low or how high you get, you know, you still just got to remember who exactly you are. You know, if you're in the middle, if you're at the top, it can all go every which way. So just, you know, my whole name is just reminding myself of stability. You know, because bro still made it to the NBA, even though not everybody knows his name. You see what I'm saying?
That's a good point, yeah.
That's that.
Hell yeah, just be all you can be. Doesn't matter what else it is.
Mm-hmm.
Man, before we end the interview, is there any kind of life advice that you would leave for anybody watching?
Before you do anything else, try to realize the full potential of your passion.
Oof.
Like, fuck a girlfriend, fuck a paper chase, you know, fuck everything else. Like, what exactly makes you happy? See if you can be the best at that. Shoot for the stars at that, and then damn near everything else is gonna fall in line.
Love that, bro. Love that. Yo, this has been an awesome conversation with character with Marvin Ariza. Follow him up, hit him up, watch his reels, man. They're solid. Take some ideas from this guy. Like, it's all love out here. He's doing a great job with it. I'll see y'all next time. Peace up.
The most prestigious network in the land, the Signature Series Network.